Hello, I'm Andrew Sewell and welcome to our December 19th Winter Celebration Showcase of the San Luis Obispo Youth Symphony. As we all know, it's been a challenging year since March the 12th when international borders were closed and the pandemic was officially named. It seemed a very long time ago. We finished the academic year with online Zoom meetings, and over the summer our conductors met weekly, planning and preparing for the fall season. Also, we held auditions. There were challenges along the way, restructuring from traditional in-person rehearsals to an online format. So thank you to all parents and students for supporting us and the Youth Symphony program. The Slow Symphony has also adjusted to non-traditional programming with pre-recorded chamber music groups and drive-in concerts. This afternoon, we celebrate your resilience and resolve, keeping going in the face of adversity, being positive, maintaining your skills, and continuing to learn. While the process has been slow and challenging, our efforts today reflect only a small fraction of what we have worked on, and you will hear from all of our instructors very shortly. Today's program will feature each group introduced by their instructor, so thank you again for being here and supporting our Slow Youth Symphony programs, and I now introduce Anna James Miller, Executive Director of the Slow Symphony.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us today. Wow, we've got 73 people here in our room, and there's still people joining, and that's wonderful. We're going to record this and we'll post it later so you can watch it again and share if you have friends or family who weren't able to attend and watch. We're excited we can be together this way. I wish that we could all be together in real life, and just want you to know that we're working so hard to find a way where we can have some limited in-person instruction starting in late January. So we'll have details and safety guidelines and all the things forthcoming on that. And of course, if you're not comfortable participating in that, we still have a way for you to do distance learning. So we're just so encouraged and so excited that you've been hanging in there this year and that you've been working on your music and making leaps and bounds in your technique, even though it's so tough in this format. So yay for all of you, and thank you so much. And I'm just proud and excited to be here to share this with you today. So next I will introduce Ms. Emily Lanzone, who is our new concert master for the Slow Symphony and who is one of our amazing instructors this year.
Thank you, Anna. Hi, everybody. And thank you for being here. This is an interesting concert experience, to say the least. So for the past several months, I've had the pleasure of working with a few students in my Superbos group. Superbos is the youngest string ensemble that we have. And as you can imagine, it's been quite different than how we would have traditionally approached teaching. And you'll hear all the instructors have kind of done it a little bit differently. But my goals this year are really to just connect with students on a weekly basis and get them playing their instruments. So they've been playing scales, we've been playing games, we've been working on note reading, and it's just great to see them on a weekly basis. So in a moment, you'll see a little snippet of what we have been working on. I mean, it's Jingle Bells and it's super, super cute, but it'll kind of give you a taste of what it's like to record if you're a Superbos. Before we do that, I wanted to also mention that I've been working on a small project well, it's not a super small project, but I've been organizing and cleaning up the rental instruments that the symphony office has. And so if you have a student who is ready to upgrade to a larger size instrument, we are working on making our collection really nice. So don't hesitate to contact the office if you need to trade out an instrument for the next biggest size. I also wanted to share that I'm going to be taking over the prep strings after Kirsten retires at the end of this month. So I can't wait to join forces with prep and Superbos, and it's going to be a lot of fun in whatever form that happens to be in. So I believe we have a clip.
Very much, Emily and Super Bows. If you've just joined us, my name is Andrew Sewell, and we are here online enjoying our celebration concert of the St. Louis Obispo Youth Symphony. As we know, it's been a challenging year, and during the year we had the resignation of Miriam Grisso, our former Symphonic Winds conductor from 2014 to 2020. But you don't get away lightly, Miriam, and we have put together a special tribute to you by former students and colleagues, and here it is for you, Miriam.
I really like your jokes. You always make me laugh.
My name is Lily Boher. I play flute in concert orchestra. I've been in the San Luis Obispo Youth Symphony since 2015, and I was in Symphonic Winds for about 3 to 4 years approximately. Miriam Grisso has such a fun and wonderful personality. She has a great sense of humor, and she is just a joy to be around. I absolutely loved having her as my conductor in Symphonic Winds. She explained things so simply yet so effectively in ways that I really understood. Of course, our group actually following her instructions is a whole other issue, but she taught us well. She knew how to communicate with us, and she was very patient despite all the times we kept messing up. I know it was hard work for her, but she never gave up on us, and it's amazing how long she's been able to conduct for Symphonic Winds. When I was in Symphonic Winds, I knew I could depend on her. When concerts came and it was time to start our first piece, she would raise her baton and smile this beautiful smile that was always so reassuring and so comforting that even when I was nervous, I would look at her and know that there was nothing to be worried about. When I think of Miriam Grisso, I always think of her fondly. She really marked an important stage in my life. Symphonic Winds was the first group I'd ever played in, and she was my first conductor. I had never been in a band before Symphonic Winds, but I've always had only positive thoughts and opinions of her. I remember going to rehearsal and seeing her lavender car parked there, and it would always make me smile. She's just the type of person whose energy, enthusiasm, and warmth becomes really contagious to everyone around her, and I will never forget what she did for me or how important she was and is to me. So thank you, Miriam Grisso, for playing such a loving, helpful, and inspirational role in my life.
Okay, thank you very much, Miriam, and thank you all for contributing to that tribute. And also, I just want to shout out to Audrey Smeichel, our AmeriCorps intern, who has helped facilitate everything together this afternoon, and the Slow Symphony staff on this call at the moment, Kirsten, our communications manager. And just a reminder that this concert will last about 1 hour this afternoon, so stay tuned. This fall, the winds met on Mondays at 3 o'clock, and although small in number, we prepared the Granger Shepherd's Hay, arranged for wind quintet with some additional percussion. The recording combines some of the concert winds also, and to acknowledge the help of John Astaire, our principal percussion of the Slow Symphony, and Laurie Lopez-Fernsler, volunteer parent. And you saw Nash there on the drums just a little while ago. Laurie and John helped with the students in their break rooms. And may not be together as a tight ensemble. We appreciate the effort each student has put in. Thank you. And now, here is Shepherd's Hay. Thank you very much, Symphonic Winds. And in January, when we'll be returning to limited in-person rehearsals, I'm happy to announce that Mr. Al Streeter will be the new Symphonic Winds instructor for the remainder of the school year. And Al is a member of the trumpet section of the St. Louis Obispo Symphony and pastor of adult ministries at Grace Central Coast Church in St. Louis Obispo. He and his wife, violinist Tanya Streeter, have been regular coaches with the Youth Symphony for many years. So I'm just going to give a shout out to Al and welcome him. You're on, Al. Welcome.
Thanks. Looking forward to working with the Symphonic Winds. I've been a brass coach for the Youth Symphony for on and off since back 1995. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity to work with the Symphonic Winds here in January.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Kirsten, and I conduct the Preparatory Strings and the Academy String Orchestra. It's been my pleasure to work with the groups this fall. Being online is a challenge, and it's not possible to play together. Normally at rehearsals, we practice pieces and learn techniques to improve our pieces and our ensemble playing. But because of these changes, we've had opportunities to explore other aspects of music. We talked about how to practice. We had great discussions on the importance of scales. We learned some about music history, the classical period and the Baroque period. We practiced the all-important art of counting, and we studied time signatures in that regard, and we learned how to conduct in 4/4, 3/4, and 2/4. So that was all really important, and the students responded well to that, and they're very smart, and I want to thank them for that. But most of all, we did critical listening. We listened to ourselves when we recorded ourselves, and then many times we'd have to record ourselves again if we weren't happy with what we heard. The students were very good at discerning differences in their critical listening between Bach and Mozart. So now, here is the Fiddle Medley presented to you by the Concert Orchestra, the Academy String Orchestra, and the Preparatory Strings. Thank you. That was Fiddle Medley. We're now going to listen to the Preparatory Strings play two French dances, a piece by Baroque composer Jean-Paul Rameau. And now the Academy will play a selection for you from Mozart's First Symphony, the first movement that he wrote when he was 8 years old.
And now we'll go straight into a tribute to Carol Kirsten. Thank you, Carol.
Happy retirement, Carol. Thank you for being such a great teacher. Bye, and have a great rest of the year.
Hi, Miss Kirsten. Thank you so much for being my coach for 4 years. I really enjoyed going to Camp Ocean Pines with you and sharing lots of great memories. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Mrs. Kirsten. The past 4 years I've been at Youth Symphony have been a blast in prep and academy strings, and I've learned so much. Thank you for being such an amazing conductor, and I hope you enjoy your retirement.
Dear Mrs. Kirsten, I want to thank you for picking me to be in the Academy Strings. Thank you and happy retirement.
Hey Carol, thank you for conducting us this year. We'll miss you a lot. It's sad knowing that this is your last Zoom. But we'll miss you. Bye.
Hi, Mrs. Kirsten. Happy retirement.
Thank you for all your work with Youth Symphony. Thank you for planning Academy in the Pines and our Disneyland trip.
Enjoy your retirement.
Hello there, Miss Kirsten. It's me, Liam. I just, wanted to thank you for the 3 years that I spent, the 1 year in preparatory and the 2 in academy. It was absolutely wonderful. And I know I came in, flat-wristed and all that, but with your encouragement, I made it up to concert here. So I just wanted to thank you and have a happy retirement.
Hello, Mrs. Kirsten. I just want to say thank you for 3 awesome seasons with you. I will cherish the memories forever. And I want to also say thank you for the opportunity to go to Disneyland. And I just hope you have a happy retirement.
Hi, I'm Sadie Rickert. Mrs. Kirsten was my first violin teacher, and she also introduced me to the Youth Symphony and was my conductor in academy. Mrs. Kirsten, thank you so much for challenging and encouraging me in my pursuit of music. Even though I might not have always appreciated it at the time, you helped instill good practice habits in me by working with me on exercises like etudes, scales, and double stops each lesson. I always looked forward to learning from you, and I know that all of us here at the Youth Symphony will miss your dedication and the love of music that you shared with us. Thank you.
Hi, Miss Carol. We wanted to thank you for being there to teach us from the very beginning of our violin days. You've helped create a great foundation for us. We wish you a very happy retirement and hope to still see you in concert someday. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you students, thank you everybody for the really nice warming comments. It's been a pleasure to be with the Youth Symphony for all these years. As a fifth grader, I knew that music would always be part of my life. I loved every minute, even getting up early on weekday mornings and having my mom drive me across town for the school orchestra. I want to thank my mom for doing this and waiting for me and driving me back. Moms deserve a lot for that. Thank you. On Saturday mornings, I would be at the Youth Symphony. It was there that I knew that I wanted to become I was part of something special, and I wanted to become a music teacher. I came to San Luis Obispo in 1971. There was a Youth Symphony conducted by Bozzo Corselli with Nancy Nagano in the cello section. I helped coach, and later in 1979, we started the junior strings, which we changed the name because it got so good. We thought academies was more appropriate, Academy String Orchestra. I felt privileged to try to inspire young musicians the way my teachers had inspired me. The preparatory strings came along in 1991. With each group, on Mondays, we would work hard and have some fun along the way. Monday rehearsals were the basis of the group, but we also had camps, pop concerts, spectaculars, guest artists, school tours, and Disneyland trips to share together. It is the privilege of a conductor that we get to see our students from a grade school on through high school and hopefully beyond. The students inspire me to keep learning. They keep me young, at least young at heart. And I would like to thank some people now. I'd like to thank the staff and the board of directors for their dedication to music education. The parents have been extraordinarily helpful. Thank you. Our team of coaches has been the best. I'd like to recognize Tanya Streeter, a wonderful coach, person, and friend. And I'd also like to thank all the other great coaches that have come and been part of making our purpose possible. Students, I care deeply about you. When Mondays comes around, I will be thinking of you. When I hear a piece of music on the radio, I will wonder, oh, is that a good piece for the academies to play? You are learning so much, and you are part of something special, students. Music will lead you to have a rich and meaningful life. You are learning to listen, and that through cooperation and hard work, you can accomplish much. Together, you are more than the sum of your parts. And thanks go to each of you for your participation and friendship. I now leave you in the good hands of Grace Singh and Emily Lazone.
Thank you, Carol. You will be missed and your legacy will continue. We have appreciated your dedication, and I likewise can concur that I grew up in a youth symphony environment and it's led me into music as well. So we are both strong advocates in this organization for continuing the legacy that you have started. And with that legacy continuing, I'm very happy to introduce Grace Singh, who will be the new Academy string instructor, and you've already heard from Emily Lanzone, who will be also taking over the preparatory strings for the remainder of the year. So I hand the microphone over to Grace. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Grace, and I just wanted to add my personal appreciation to Carol. Um, I'm gonna cry. As a parent with my own two kids in her orchestras, and also as a violin teacher, and how I could send my students to Carol and know that they would be in great hands with her. And I joined Academy Strings about 3 years ago as a coach, and I was able to watch Carol just for their gentle and kind ways, inspiring the kids to bring out the best music from them. And I was always amazed how she just goes above and beyond to plan fun things for the kids, like those spectacular concerts and the Disneyland trips and the camps. Those don't just happen, they happen because of Carol. And she even cooked spaghetti dinner for the entire orchestra and their families one time. So Carol, you are a treasure to our community and we appreciate you so much. But Emily and I are really excited to continue with Prep and Academy, and we're working on picking music, and we hope to see many of you in January. And we look forward to finishing out this year the best that we can together. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Grace. And again, Nancy, I'm now handing the microphone over to Nancy Nagano to introduce the concert orchestra.
Well, hello, everyone. Boy, this is a hard one to follow. Carol, you're really going to be missed. Anyway, I just, probably 3 months ago, I probably couldn't have talked to you on this computer, but thanks to our virtual Youth Symphony, I have learned a lot and gotten used to talking to the computer screen, and it reminded me of like being on Hollywood squares. But without a doubt, the past 3 months have been the most challenging times educationally that I've ever experienced. And thank you, everyone, especially the students, for putting up with me. Right now, I'd like to take one moment to recognize the one person who has been behind everything. He's the pillar or the backbone of our Youth Symphony, and the reason we are still here as one big musical family. That's Obispo Korshelly. He's been my lifelong mentor and the founder of this great organization. Thank you, Obispo, for all the support you've given us, and especially to me during this new era of virtual learning. Now I'd like to introduce to you one of our oboists, Karen Clark, who has helped all of us with her positive energy. And with her enthusiasm, she has willingly offered to put this next piece together. Take it away, Karen.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Karen Clark. I play oboe, and this is my third year in the Youth Symphony's concert orchestra. I'd like to start by thanking you all for being here today. From a student's perspective, I'm so grateful that we have so many people here to support us. The past few months have brought many new opportunities, but also a lot of challenges. When we started the year with virtual auditions back in May, I was very hopeful that we might be able to play together in the fall. When that wasn't the case, my peers, conductor, and I really tried to stay motivated. Every week we did one of many things. We did weekly music history lessons and quizzes, open mic days, and listened to guest performers like Mr. Alpin Hong. We brainstormed new things to work on, listened to recordings of the pieces we were working on, and played briefly in front of each other. We've played games where we took turns playing a song by a composer, practiced our pieces in breakout rooms, and sometimes just talking about what's going on in our lives. We have all been here to help each other get through some major technical difficulties. I will never forget our very first meeting. Nancy tried to have 1 or 2 students play scales to her conducting. She would start conducting, and then a student would start. But after a few notes, Nancy would adjust to the student because of the delay, and then the student would adjust to her. And this endless loop led us to realize that there was absolutely no chance of us ever being able to play together through Zoom. But we've worked around it. We've discovered how to screen share, and sometimes students playing was inaudible because Zoom thought it was background noise. My personal favorite technical problem was actually this past meeting, when us students tried to log on to the meeting, and for the first time, you needed a password that nobody had. Though there were many problems, we've kept pushing through together. To conclude, I have one piece that I actually edited, which I'd like to share with you. About 3 weeks ago, after Concert Orchestra Winds had sent in our recordings for all of the other pieces, we were at a little bit of a loss for what to do. Nancy asked us if we wanted to try to record one more piece. And after we all talked together, we decided to prepare the Nutcracker March. All my peers recorded their parts within 1 week, and I was really happy to piece all of them together. Though I prepared the final product, this piece wouldn't have been possible without the other amazing students in concert orchestra winds and the amount of time they put into making it a success. Additionally, I am so grateful to Nancy, our conductor, as she also recorded parts for this recording. Additionally, thank you to all of the symphony staff who's been working so hard to make this concert and Youth Symphony a success. Though it is only an audio, I hope you can enjoy Nutcracker March, performed by Concert Orchestra Winds. Thank you.
Back to Nancy.
So yay, concert wins. Thank you very much. And great job, Karen. In September, I had to, when we started when we started rehearsing, I had to separate the winds and the strings. But I also had 2 trumpet players who auditioned and returned to concert orchestra. And I remembered that during the breaks last year, they were always trying to play the Bugler's Holiday. So I thought this would be a perfect piece for this holiday presentation. Here is Susanna's son, Darren Gong, and Derek Gong, a former alumni of the Youth Symphony. Bugler's Holiday. So thank you. That was a great performance. Now, before we go to the American Quartet, I want to explain what we all learned and experienced from our virtual meetings. At first, I was all excited about learning this quartet, and I visioned that I would have my score in front of the screen, and I'd give them a count off, and I'd start conducting, and if things went wrong, we'd stop and correct things. And, well, unfortunately, I was kind of in shock after we tried to do a scale with the winds, and I couldn't even get two people to play a scale with whole notes. So anyway, so that didn't go, and we had to think of other ways to do it. For those of you who didn't get to experience the stress your kids had making their recordings, I just want to personally tell you it is very stressful. And the reason, you only hear yourself, and you can't concentrate on the music because you're so busy working and worrying about making a mistake and having to start all over again. So then after several takes, you're ready to throw your instrument out the window, but you just choose one because there's a deadline. And you know, the feeling of deadline is a totally different feeling than working towards a concert date. But now, here is the outcome after all the kids worked so hard to learn the piece with total different mindsets, like earplugs in, play along with the track, don't rush, don't slow down, don't stop, and don't make a mistake. Here it is, the Dvorak American Quartet. So hopefully we can all agree that the sooner we can get back to in person, the better. And I'm looking forward to that. So today our last piece is Peter and the Wolf by Prokofiev. I wanted to do this piece using Andrew as the narrator for our finale concert last May, but unfortunately Andrew had another engagement and said he couldn't do it. Well, in the end, we all couldn't do it. But in September, when I heard he was quarantined, I thought, okay, now he won't have an excuse this time. So thank you, Andrew. And this piece I thought would be a perfect piece to showcase our wins. And the strings could also record because it's with very minimal stress because the theme of Peter is not that long. And luckily, again, one of our students, Quinn Brussel, stepped up to the plate and said he would love to edit it and put it together. He did a marvelous job, and Audrey put together all of the visuals. So with both of their great efforts, I'd like to present our version of Peter and the Wolf.
This This is the story of Peter and the Wolf by Sergey Prokofiev, narrated by Andrew Sewell and with the concert orchestra of the San Luis Obispo Youth Symphony. Early one morning, Peter opened the gate and walked into the big green meadow. On a branch of a big tree sat a little bird, Peter's friend. "All is quiet," chirped the little bird happily. Just then a duck came waddling around. She was glad that Peter had not closed the gate and decided to take a nice swim in the deep pond in the meadow. Seeing the duck, the little bird flew down upon the grass, settled next to her, and shrugged his shoulders. "What kind of bird are you if you can't fly?" said he. To this the duck replied, "What kind of a bird are you if you can't swim?" and dived into the pond. They argued and they argued, the duck swimming in the pond and the little bird hopping along the shore. Suddenly, something caught Peter's attention. He noticed a cat crawling through the grass. The cat thought, "That little bird is busy arguing. I'll just grab him." Stealthily, the cat crept towards him on her velvet paws. "Look out!" shouted Peter, and the bird immediately flew up into the tree. While the duck quacked angrily at the cat from the middle of the pond. The cat walked around the tree and thought, "Is it worth climbing up so high? By the time I get up there, the bird will have flown away." Just then, Grandfather came out. He was upset because Peter had gone into the meadow.
It's a dangerous place. If a wolf should come out of the forest, then what would you do?
But Peter paid no attention to his father's words. Boys like him are not afraid of wolves. But grandfather took Peter by the hand. Led him home and locked the gate. No sooner had Peter gone than a big grey wolf came out of the forest. In a twinkling, the cat climbed up the tree. The duck quacked, and in her excitement jumped out of the pond. But no matter how hard the duck tried to run, she couldn't escape the wolf. He was getting nearer and nearer, catching up with her. Then he got her, and with one gulp, swallowed her whole. And now this is how things stood. The cat was sitting on one branch. The bird on another. Not too close to the cat. And the wolf, he walked around and around the tree, looking at them with greedy eyes. In the meantime, Peter, without the slightest fear, stood behind the closed gate watching all that was going on. He ran home, got a strong rope, and climbed up the high stone wall. One of the branches of the tree around which the wolf was walking stretched out over the wall. Grabbing hold of the branch, Peter lightly climbed over onto the tree. Peter said to the little bird, "Fly down and circle over the wolf's head, only take care that he doesn't catch you." The bird almost touched the wolf's head with his wings, while the wolf snapped angrily at him from this side and that. How the bird worried the wolf! How he wanted to catch him! But the bird was clever, and the wolf simply couldn't do anything about it. Meanwhile, Peter made a lasso and, carefully letting it down, caught the wolf by the tail and pulled with all his might. Feeling himself caught, the wolf began to jump wildly, trying to get loose. But Peter tied the other end of the rope to the tree, and the wolf's jumping only made the rope around his tail tighter. Just then, the hunters came out of the woods, following the wolf's trail and shooting as they went. But Peter, sitting in the tree, said, "Don't shoot! Birdie and I have already caught the wolf. Now, help us take him to the zoo." And now, imagine the triumphant procession. Peter at the head, after him the hunters leading the wolf, and winding up the procession, Grandfather and the cat. Grandfather shook his head discontentedly. Well, and if Peter hadn't caught the wolf, what then? Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Concert Orchestra. And thank you all so much for a wonderful presentation this afternoon. Thank you to Carol, to Emily, and just to let you all know, and welcome Grace and Al and Emily to the program beginning in January. We also want to let you all know that our program will be shifting to in-person learning at our new location, soon to be announced after January the 19th. So put this on your calendar. There will be a 30-minute Zoom meeting for parents and students on Monday, January the 11th at 5 p.m. On the calendar, that's our first Monday back. So it'll be a half an hour Zoom call where we will answer questions and introduce the program for the spring of small in-person groups beginning late January. And now I just want to thank you all again. And as we finish today's concert, we leave you with The Swamp Thing from June of 2020. This was put together by Grace Singh and Emily Banniger. And it's another thing, lastly but not least, today's concert is available, or will be available, after Tuesday, December the 22nd on the Slow Symphony YouTube channel. We have recorded today's broadcast in concert. So again, thank you all very much. And now the Swamp Thing video.
3, 4.
Thank you all so much. I love that video. I love seeing Mr. Astaire on the washboard. That's such a treat. We just appreciate you all so much. Let's give a big round of applause to Audrey Smichael for her wonderful video editing. We appreciate her so much. And thank you to Kirsten Hintz, who was our tech help and marketing manager extraordinaire. And if any of you are feeling inspired during this season of generosity to support the symphony with a gift, please visit slowsymphony.org. Every dollar helps so much, and it helps us to keep the music alive in our hearts and in our homes during COVID and beyond. And thank you again to all of you wonderful students and families for your work, for your patience, and for your determination. I hope this has been a fun afternoon. As Mr. Sewell said, we'll compile the different recordings and we'll put this concert together on YouTube, and we'll have that ready for you sometime next week. And we'll send you the link so you can share it out. Thank you again and happy holidays. We'll see you in the new year. Bye, everyone.